There we have a guest, Mike Cuniff. Welcome, Mike. So the meeting is called to order at 2 p.m. today. So welcome, everybody. Before I get started on anything else, I had a quick question for Josh. I wrote up a proposal for Marathon Park, and I wanted to receive input from the rest of the commission. Is this legal for me to send out the report that I wrote and ask for people to send me corrections or their take on it? Or do we have to only do that kind of work in person at a meeting, Josh?
No, that's a good question. So, what I would actually recommend is that you send it to me, David. I'll send it to the committee and have it funneled through me. That way you're not running into any open meeting law violations. And then what I
Okay.
would recommend is at the next meeting discussing those changes.
Okay, great. That's what we will do. Next thing on the agenda is approval of the June meeting minutes. Did everyone get a chance to see them?
Yes.
I heard 2 yeses. Did anyone not get an opportunity to look at the minutes? Okay. Oh, I see Karen's hand. Karen, do you have your volume on?
Sorry,
Hey.
there I am.
No, that's fine. So basically, we just wanted to have a motion to approve.
Right, I'll make the motion to approve.
Thanks, Gloria.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Estelle. Anyone against? The motion is approved then. Thank you.
Thanks.
We have a guest speaker today. Speaking about the ADA transition plan, Mike Cuniff. Hi, Mike. Welcome to our commission.
Good afternoon. Sorry, just getting the controls figured out here. Our company uses Teams quite a bit, so I have to relearn Zoom occasionally.
How are you today, Mike?
Good, thank you.
That's great. So I'm not sure exactly what we're expecting. I know Josh brought to our attention that we were going to have a speaker speaking about the ADA transition plan. So we look forward to it.
Excellent. Yeah, so our my company, Bureau Veritas, is currently working with the town on what we call a self-evaluation and transition plan. It is a requirement of the ADA, which just had its 35th anniversary a couple days ago. So we're actively working with that. I do have a very brief slideshow. It's probably a 10-minute high level overview of what we're doing, kind of where we are in the process without getting into the weeds too much. So happy to share that with the commission here if you're eager to see it. And there's also a few things. One of the components is really public outreach and having public input as we draft the plan. So I have a few questions for the group here as well, maybe at the end. So let's see. If you're ready, I can share my screen and kind of get into it.
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It looks like it's giving me the ability to do that. So let's give it a shot. I think I can share the PowerPoint. All right, let's I don't know if it'll let me share the full screen, but at least I think we can see this. So is everyone able to see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So again, this is really just a progress update. We've done a lot of the assessments already. Actually, I think we've done all the sites, but we haven't actually shared the transition plan itself. So I'll kind of get into where we are. So we normally call these projects for us a self-evaluation and transition plan. They're separate in many ways, but commingled at the same time. So the self-evaluation component involves an assessment of both the physical, built environment, and, the facilities themselves, and also a review of policies, programs, practices, things like that, that are the non-physical elements. Because, well, for a lot of reasons, there could be things that are not compliant, and have nothing to do with the built environment. So kind of two individual things here. What our contract is for at the moment is a self-evaluation of all the town-owned facilities. What we did due to budget reasons is we have the review of the programs and policies in a future phase, and I'll show that on a subsequent slide here. The transition plan is going to deal with physical structural changes to the facilities that need to be made to make them fully compliant. There's a lot of detail in these reports. The folks from the town, I think Chris Hartman in general has been looking at them in some detail. But I will go to the next slide here. But the transition plan essentially is kind of a roadmap to remediation, to removing the barriers and making everything compliant. Typically, they're phased over several years. The tricky part is we kind of know not everything can be made compliant at once. And so the transition plan is really, we need to look at priorities, right? What is going to have the most impact to the most people? And we want to put those, first and focus on those. And then things that are less significant, usually areas that have little public use, we can put later on in the schedule. Kind of the three major components, how we look at it anyway, to the self-evaluation. The programs and policies, that's the non-built environment stuff, the administrative changes that can be made. Again, not part of this contract just yet, but we do have a proposal in and hope to take care of that in a future year. At the same time, it is called a self-evaluation, so it is perfectly acceptable and quite common that some entities take that process on their own. The town-owned buildings and parks, I don't know if we have parks on our list, but we certainly have facilities. This is where the kind of the heavy lifting is. We did a full evaluation of all the town-owned properties. I think we had 13 on the list, and have a very detailed report on each one already. And then the last piece is that's a potential future phase, but there's a lot of movement and focus on that, at least that we've seen in the last few years. Is really the public right-of-way stuff. So any sidewalks in town, curb ramps, pedestrian signals, those types of things that are in the public right-of-way, those are covered by the ADA and most recently the public right-of-way accessibility guidelines. So something to think about over the coming years. Sort of where we are in the process, we had the kickoff with the town back in May, and we're able to jump right into the assessments. We had one of our assessors kind of free and ready to go. So toward the end of May, we started that and worked through June, and delivered. I don't know if we delivered all the reports in June. Some of them might have gone into July. That's kind of where we are now. We're holding this policies and programs for a future phase. And right now we're just sort of getting into that transition planning process. So we want to figure out the best way to engage the public. You know, the commission here being part of that. We certainly want your advice. We'll share the draft plan with you and see what you think. See what areas may be more important. Targeting for September to have that draft transition plan to a point where we're ready to share it, the draft itself with the public, and then looking at a final going before the town in October. These are going to depend a little bit on, you know, the type and the level of public comments that we get, but this is sort of our target for the moment. We do like to do an online survey, and I can share with the commission and with the town before we kind of go about that, but it's short. Our surveys are usually around 10 questions, and the goal is to get a sense of where people are struggling, you know, with access, whether it's a particular program, whether it's a particular facility, or even a particular instance, you know, within a facility, and sort of get that information and help that, really let that, you know, drive as much of the transition plan as we can. We do complete a lot of these, so we have some good experience and can probably get pretty close without any input, but that's really not the preferred method. Any questions so far? I tend to talk a lot about this, so please feel free to interrupt at any point if there's a question, or if you want to go back to a slide.
You mentioned that in September or October, they're going to reach out to the Disability Commission, among others, to get our opinions and so forth. Is there a way that we could get more involved going forward? We are the Disability Commission, and since you're working with right now ADA transition plan and so forth, would it be beneficial for us to be more involved going forward?
I think so. You know, I'll certainly bring that up to our point of contact, you know, within the town. Where we're at now is a perfect opportunity to do just that. The assessments themselves, I describe those as very objective. Like we're going to go to each site, and we did, and we use tools and measure everything. And so things that are not compliant with both the ADA 2010 standards and or, you know, the Massachusetts, you know, 521 CMR, those are all included in the report as a finding, if you will, or a barrier to access. And each of those instances has a lot of information with it. It has a location, sort of a description of the finding, the regulatory standard, sort of a planning level cost to remediate. And with that information, we can start to develop that transition plan. But the other key component is that public input, because now it gets more subjective. Lorraine, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a
think we said-
question. Did you go to Marathon Park? Was that one of the assessments that you did, or?
I don't believe so. I have, let me switch here. Are you able to see a different screen now called Asset Calc? Or is
No.
it still showing the PowerPoint?
No,
It says outreach survey.
outreach survey results.
I think that was the way I shared. Let me hit OK.
That would be great if they did an assessment on Marathon Park.
I don't think we have it.
Oh.
Let me see if I can share a different way and show you my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can show the list of sites. Do you see something now called Asset Calc by chance?
We see a list of sites.
Yeah, these were the sites provided to us by the town to be assessed. And I
Well, it
don't,
says Parks and Recreation. I wonder if it would fall under that.
that was a specific building.
Oh, okay.
like a headquarters or an office building
Oh,
correctly.
Yeah, it's not there.
Don't see it.
no.
There.
No, it's not there.
We do a lot of parks, so that's just something that's probably more at the contractual level. Why it didn't make the list, I don't know. There, in a lot of cases, I'm not sure about Bridgewater, but sometimes there's a separate Title II entity specifically for parks. We've got a couple now, primarily on the West Coast, where they're within a city, but they're their own district, if you will. So not sure if that's the case here, or if
Okay.
if it's not technically owned, by the town. I'm not sure about that.
Hmm.
But it's good intel. A lot of times when we do the surveys, we get some good information. Sometimes it's information that is not relevant. This is specific to town-owned buildings, not just buildings within the town. So if somebody has issues with the Roach Brothers supermarket, it's not necessarily anything we can deal with that in this particular project. Let's see. So another example. So we haven't done the survey yet, which is why these are just a sample from another similar type of project that we did. But graphically, you can see how the responses can help shape the transition plan. Where we had high response rates, where people are frequenting sites, we can start to focus initial efforts on those particular sites earlier on in the overall plan. And again, similar here, this particular one I think was broken out into 3 or 4 phases with some projected costs for each particular phase, just to look at what some of the things we're looking at when we go through the process here. The asset calc screen that I just shared, there's a lot of information contained in that database, and that's where we can generate a lot of things that will help make the transition planning process easier, but also easier to track once we hand it over. The goal is to be able to treat it as a living document, and to be able to manage it and update it, and add things and check things off as completed. We've done a lot of transition plans a second time, ones that were done years ago and they were just put in a file cabinet somewhere and nobody ever looked at it. So we hope for that not to happen. So we'll be able to share this database with the town, whether it's a designated ADA coordinator or different department heads. So they're going to be able to have access to this and be able to update it over
Can I just
time.
interrupt for a quick question, Mike? You
Sure.
had shown us on an earlier screen that there was 13 buildings that we're concerned with in Bridgewater for the ADA transition plan. 2 of them concern water, the filtration, and I forget what the other one was. I think it's very important, obviously, and everyone's concerned about the water in Bridgewater, but how would the ADA be that a priority for those 2 buildings? Like, I don't ever plan to visit those buildings. I don't, why would those particular buildings seem to be more ADA complicit?
So it's a great question. It's maybe a little bit more complicated of an answer, and some of it depends. If there's any public access there, like if someone can go there to pay a bill, or if there's ever any tours or meetings and things like that, we'd want to make sure that the spaces that those services or events are accessible to the public. If it isn't, and it's strictly employee only and nobody ever goes there, and there's a 8-foot tall fence with razor wire along the outside, and you know, you need key card access to get in. That's a little different. You know, there'd be no program access that would be required. Although when Paul was out there, at least at one of them, it was relatively new. And so new construction, even for employee areas, they still need to be accessible to a certain extent. There are some exceptions, certainly for employee work areas. But because they're town owned, they do make it technically into the transition plan. And if we find, you know, through discussion that there's very little or no public use, those would generally happen toward the end of the transition plan, because it would, you know, have less of an impact, you know, so we would probably put that out, you know, in a later phase. So that's kind of the thought process on there, where, you know, the administrative buildings and offices, you know, where a lot of you know, programs and services happen, I'm almost 100% sure that would surely get a lot of responses, and we'd want to focus on that you know, earlier, if not first. So this is just another couple of screenshots from our database. And in this one particular instance, there will be a page of information for the finding we happen to notice at this curb ramp. It's just a slope issue. It's within, you know, a couple percent here of being compliant, but something that was built. Is it accessible? Sure. It's just not fully compliant. So that's sort of the detail that we're getting into with the individual reports at each facility. And I think I promised Josh I was only going to take about 10 minutes. I am on the last slide.
Yeah.
Once we are done and sort of hand over the transition plan to the town, it's kind of in the hands typically of the ADA coordinator that maintains oversight, makes sure that it's being updated, that improvements are happening, and then updating, you know, if things are going ahead or tracking off schedule, or different needs arise. Maybe we forgot Marathon Park and it needs to get in there. Yeah, that would be considered an update, and we can, you know, update it as such. That is what I had. Any other questions from the commission?
Mike, how do you get the survey out to the town so that it's fairly represented throughout the town?
Yeah, good question. And that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to join the call today. I'll say in most cases, we host an online survey through SurveyMonkey, try to keep it to about 8 to 10 questions. We can get a lot of information that way and not have it so long that people don't want to take it. But getting that out to the community is always the part where we need some help. So if the commission is okay with it, we would like to use this platform to kind of, you know, broadcast it to the community to let people know that, you know, there is a survey, you know, please take it, etc. We also usually work closely with municipalities if there's like a public relations type person, if there's a newsletter, email blast, social media, like, you know, Facebook and stuff like that, just to get the word out. We can create a flyer too if we want to post that around and give people a link to the survey.
How many surveys do you need to get back, Mike, to consider it a fair representation?
The more the merrier.
Oh yeah.
We've had as few as, you know, maybe 12 or 15 responses to, you know, 400 or 500. Preferably, you know, if 100 people answer it, that's more balanced, right? We don't want to have, you know, just a handful of people sort of dictate the whole process. At the same time, we don't have to. If the staff at the town and the commission feel that things should be a certain way, and we only have, 10 responses to the survey, we can weigh that accordingly and not necessarily take the survey as, definitive, and that there's no
Right.
flexibility. There's a lot of leeway too in the public outreach and the public input. The ADA itself doesn't exactly say how that has to happen. At a minimum, I think we should make the draft plan available for public comment. That's really kind of a bare bones minimum, and I don't like doing just the minimum. So I think the online survey is good. We can reach a lot of people, especially people who may not be physically able to get to an in-person event. We've had mixed success with in-person meetings. Typically, they're not well attended, so we've kind of gone the online route, and then sometimes we'll try to tag on to another event, and kind of try to get the word out that way, where it's appropriate, and time permitting.
Good. Does anyone else have questions for Mike?
I do,
Lorraine?
David.
Lorraine,
I think this is long overdue for the town, and I'm really happy to see this move forward. And I think also the benefit of it would be having a ADA plan in place would be, it would enable us to be able to start, it would help us with our grants going forward. That would be the benefit, right? And also,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, this is wrong and that needs to be corrected, but then you need to find the money to be able to do the corrections.
That's a really
Right?
good point. Yep. So I believe there's a new town manager. So
Yep.
in most cases, those are the people, or he may have a team that pursues grants.
Mhm.
As a company, we don't. It kind of gets into some conflict of interest. We could start like making stuff up, and we don't do that.
Yeah.
But the Massachusetts Office on Disability, I know, is one avenue that does offer grants.
Okay.
In some cases, I think they've even funded the assessment itself, but having the transition plan in place is likely a precursor to receiving any grant money, at least from that particular department.
Yes, that's what we've heard. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions for Mike? Well, thank you very much, Mike. That was very informational and very appreciated.
Of course, anytime. Happy this worked out. It's funny that I only live about an hour from Bridgewater, and right now I'm in Southern California for a meeting that is required to be.
Are you
Required to
rubbing
be-
it in or what?
I
Yeah,
know.
It's
it hotter
required to be
there?
in person. Yeah, so it would have been better to have the in-person one in Bridgewater, and this, my one here in California be virtual, but do what we need to do.
It works.
That's right.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
it's
any
a
other
pleasure.
questions? I guess we're all set then. Mike, thank you very much for your time and a great presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
and
Thank
I'll
you.
be in
Thank
touch
you.
with the town
Thank you.
too, and maybe we can bring that survey online before the next commission meeting here.
Yeah, just Mike, if you could email me when if it's ready, and then I can get it out to all the members for you.
Okay, perfect. What I'll do is we have some templates. I don't have it ready just yet today, but once I do, I can share the link.
Okay, perfect.
And we can do it that way. We typically use a company called SurveyMonkey, which sounds really goofy, but they're
Yeah.
really widely known.
Yeah.
And they do a good
Yeah.
job with
Mhm.
kind of graphically representing the results, and we can use those directly in the plan.
Mhm.
Good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you again,
everybody.
Mike.
Okay. Bye.
Enjoy California.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting.
Yes.
Let's see, shall we move on? Stone Meadow presentation. I don't think it's anything we need to discuss today, other than everyone's aware there was a change in time. It's
Yeah.
still Wednesday, September 3rd. Now it's 7 p.m. instead of 6:30. Place, Stone Meadow Rec Room. Lorraine is going to speak in regards to the
Mhm.
mission statement. I'll
Yeah.
speak in regard to accomplishments and goals. And I think we're going to contribute. Karen, did you suggest some $5 gift cards?
Yeah, how about $5 gift cards? Would that work?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
So
a token. Does anybody have the raffle tickets, a roll of raffle tickets anywhere laying around?
I think
I
we
know,
can
I
get
don't.
one at the, we can get one at the senior center, I bet.
I
Hmm.
know there was a lot of them. Would somebody? All right, I'll ask Courtney. Would
So,
that be okay, or do you want to go through one of your members there?
no, that sounds good. The
Okay.
next meeting will be in August, so we can kind of fine tune, all the details at the August meeting. I mean, there's not really a lot of details that we have to put together for it, but just to remind everyone and just, fine tune the last of the details.
Going back to the survey that they were
Yes.
just talking about, would this be a good opportunity to introduce? If the survey is ready, maybe we could present it to Stone Meadow and this population.
I think that's a great idea. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it would be ready by
If
Right.
it's ready by
Time of
September
September.
3rd,
September.
Yeah.
If it is, that's a great idea, Karen.
it would be great if we had the survey to pass out, if it's only like one page, because a
Yeah.
lot of them don't do online.
Yeah, he
but-
said it's going to be 8 to 10 questions, so that would be fairly
Yeah.
short, I would think. That's a
So
great
that might be
idea,
something
Karen.
to add to the presentation.
Let me write that down. If ADA survey ready. Survey ready. Provide. Gloria, did I see your hand?
Oh, I was just, we can do it at the end by the August meeting. I've got a couple of medical things, so I was wondering what the date would be.
Oh, okay. I think I wrote it here. 26.
Of August.
I'm having cataract surgery.
Oh, geez.
And I won't be available.
Well, we'll have to look because we need a minimum of 3. So
Yeah,
if the dream
Alright.
team of Karen, myself, and Estelle aren't 100% available, we won't be able to have that meeting.
mhm,
We'll get back about that.
okay.
So I sent out to everyone. Now we know that if
Mhm.
I'm going to do any rewrites or any work, I'll submit it initially through Josh, who can then submit it to you guys to look at and so forth.
So who do we send our response to? Josh?
That's good. It would
Yeah, you're gonna reply to me.
I mean, if
Because
we want to make notes. Yeah, okay.
Yep, so
Okay.
if it's, so the open meeting
not?
law is conversation of a quorum of members, and that's what we're trying to avoid here. So if you send it to me, I know I'm the middleman and it's kind of tedious, but if you send it to me and I can send it back to David, then we, if anybody were to inquire on the emails or anything like that, there wouldn't be any issues for open meeting law. And then, like I said, if we just have it on the next agenda and you use that opportunity to discuss the changes that David uses, so the edits you guys send him, if he makes those edits, then you guys can just discuss those specifically.
Okay, that is the way we will handle it going forward. I provided to everyone, not knowing I provided to everyone a copy of our proposal and Marathon Park proposal,
Mhm.
ADA modification request. All kids have the right to play together. And I did it in 4 parts. Did everyone get part 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So this was like the preliminary plan. Do you want me to read through it now? Do you want to, I'll send it back to, at the end of the meeting by tomorrow, I'll send it to Josh. We could read through it now. If you have comments, we could do initial comments, but take some time. Karen had sent me one thing she'd like to see added. So where do you think we should go from here? Do you want me to just read through, get a general feel for it and go from there?
The question that I have, David,
Yes.
is, I mean, obviously I was a little concerned about the open meeting law, but obviously only one person had responded to you. So that was not a quorum and there was no real engagement. So we
Right.
didn't, break any
We didn't break it.
rules or
correct.
anything. I was concerned if there were a multiple amount of people that responded and there was conversation going back and forth, right, Josh? That would constitute a violation of, because it's on the agenda today. So if it's on the agenda today, we should be able to have a discussion about
Yes. Yeah.
it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yep,
So let
So-
me read through it. The
okay,
first part was
Don't read the,
all kids have the right to play together, part one. Marathon Park is an outstanding play center for children, but with limited accessibility for children with disabilities. Current options for children with disabilities include 2 slides with limited access to the slide structure and 2 age-appropriate swings. Mobility and accessibility to features at Marathon Park are of concern. Accessible environments for our children is the right thing to do for Bridgewater. ADA compliant playgrounds are getting support from many communities in our area. Local examples are Buttonwood Park Playground in New Bedford. It includes wide ramps and elevated surfaces that are spacious and perfect for turning in a wheelchair. Roger Williams Carousel Park in Providence includes an accessible elevated path that goes from one side of the play structure to the other. Wide turning areas make the whole playground easier to access. Wilson Bounders Playground in Long Meadow features 3 century slides that have different textures and are low to the ground. Lastly, Nelson Memorial Playground in Plymouth is spectacular. Step on the ground cover around the climbing structure, spinning wheel, and swing section, you feel it immediately. It's soft and bouncy. The rubberized cover is part of the effort by the town to make its playgrounds compliant with the ADA regulations. More communities are installing special needs playgrounds as they understand the value of the play and socialization and how kids that cannot participate are excluded or segregated. I go to the Nelson Memorial Playground often enough with my wife. We start there and we walk over to Cottage Park. It's like a mile walk each way. So I've seen this particular park and it's super busy all the time and it is nice.
nice.
Playgrounds with ramps and smooth ground surfaces can help wheelchair users easily access and maneuver through the different areas. Play equipment such as pirate ships or castles with ramps allow children with disabilities to participate and play with friends. Accessible play equipment not only helps children with disabilities socialize and make new friends, but it also allows them to stay active. With a great majority of Americans living sedentary and inactive lives, more and more children are facing obesity and other health concerns. This is especially true for children with disabilities who are often unintentionally left on the sidelines at school and in their community. The benefits of accessible and inclusive playgrounds far outweigh the cost. These environments not only provide recreation for children with disabilities, but can help their non-disabled peers learn to understand differences. With inclusion becoming more prevalent across the U.S., it is crucial for both children and adults to become aware of the need to make environments more accessible for everyone. Inclusive and accessible spaces benefit society at large. That's the end of part 1. Any major concerns, anyone? So I'm going to send this off with
Great.
everything to Josh eventually, and then he'll send it back to you. And I really want your opinions and comments, possible restructuring and so forth.
Yeah.
Karen sent to me, and I used a lot of it, the second part. Marathon Park proposal, ADA modification request. All kids have the right to play together, part 2. Evaluation of Marathon Park. And Karen sent me kind of a write-up about how to evaluating. So second step, determine the accessibility issues that would need to be corrected, asking a series of questions. Can kids and adults who use wheelchairs or mobility devices access the playground and equipment easily? Are there deterrents such as slopes and narrow paths, making accessibility challenging? Can kids play together? Can kids of all abilities use playground equipment such as slides, swings, and climbers? Are paths level and smooth so kids in wheelchairs can move about? Is there enough shade to protect kids and their caregivers from the sun? Are there activities that engage the senses in an interesting mix of shapes and textures, spelling there? Several comprehensive Marathon Park walkthroughs and evaluations were conducted in May 2025 with information provided in part 3 of this report. Any comments on part 2 at all? And thank you
No,
for
great questions. Great questions.
Karen provided the sheet, but you know, it kind of makes, it pulls it front and forward what we were looking for. So I thought that was a great idea to add it to it.
Yeah.
Third section, the actual walkthrough, which I had done it before and sent it to you, but kind of changed it up a little bit. Through a series of Marathon Park visits conducted in May, the following are the findings. And there's a lot of excellent or superb stuff about Marathon Park. It's clean and well maintained. The attraction rides are well spread out throughout the park with space for additional attraction rides. The entire Marathon Park playground is surrounded by a newer, well-maintained sidewalk. The ride area ground cover consists of wood chip mulch, and this is an issue. Clean and well maintained, but difficult to navigate with any type of mobility device. Disability Commission noted difficult walking in mulch areas, even without defined mobility issues. And we had mentioned there's a lot of grandparents and seniors that go there with grandkids, and they would have a trouble also. The
Mhm.
entrance to Marathon Park is a gate that remains closed as a safety for children. The gate is accessible to individuals in wheelchairs. Parking lot is even with the sidewalk to allow any mobility device clear accessibility to the park entrance. This improvement was performed several years ago by the town. There is no bathroom or porta potty available. Prior to the advent of COVID, a single porta potty was in use at Marathon Park. This unit was not accessible to individuals with mobility issues. As a source of comparison, pickleball courts located at the Bridgewater Senior Center do have a porta potty adjacent to the courts. There are many dining tables available to picnic at with attached benches. 4 open spots exist at the tables to accommodate up to 4 wheelchairs. The dining area has a permanent roof cover providing shade. 2 play course swings are in place for children with disabilities. The 2 swings are age appropriate, with one swing accommodating children 2 to 5 and the other swing accommodating children 5 to 12. Both swings appear to be new and in operational condition. They are expensive improvement over the prior swings that were constantly damaged. The swing each have a front harness clip to hold the child safely on the swing seat. The largest rider attraction is a large multi-slide unit. This attraction consists of a wide ramp leading to several slides. This play area is accommodating for the lower 2 slides. Children are able to gain access with a variety, I see a spelling mistake, of mobility devices, including a wheelchair. It is large, colorful play structure in excellent condition. The multiple slides at higher levels of the structure would not be accessible to children with mobility issues. There are multiple benches strategically placed around the play area to accommodate individuals that need to sit or rest. All benches are in excellent condition. The smaller swing set, located near the front entrance of the park, is in a mulch surface area. It's about 3 inches below the sidewalk level. The largest swing set is located at the back of Marathon Park in a mulch surface area about 2 inches below the sidewalk level. The amount of mulch in use would impact the level to the sidewalk. However, both areas of the park would prove difficult to access with mobility device. There are 2 handicap parking spots at the entrance to Marathon Park. These 2 parking spots were put into effect several years ago. the Disability Commission would recommend 4 additional handicap parking spots, as there appear to be many grandparents utilizing Marathon Park with their grandchildren. Marathon Park proved to be clean, well-maintained, and a very busy park on the 2 warm and sunny days in May visited by Disability Commission members. Comments or anything to add to that?
Great job.
Yeah, I
thank you.
think, obviously, number one, the mulch ground cover is definitely an issue as far as
Mhm.
mobility. My second main concern is well, actually, it should be the first main concern, no access to bathrooms. You
Yeah.
know, and if, no porta potty available and, you know, when they do put one in, which they should, it has to be
It's gonna
able
be,
to accommodate those that are disabled, you know, that are in wheelchairs or whatever.
and maintained.
And
And
maintained,
maintained,
maintained.
yeah.
Definitely.
So,
And
So
then,
where's the cost gonna come from?
well,
right, well, that's what the next step would be, to try to figure
Yep.
out prices and all that, but we have to first come up with a list of
we have
what
to
these
come up with
issues
a
are.
list.
And then you mentioned, the problem, the smaller swing set located near the front entrance of the park is in a mulch surface area. And, that's the larger swing set is also, that's also a problem. And then-
Everything is in the mulch area over there.
Yes, and then the need for the additional handicap spots, that needs to be added. So those were my thoughts on that page.
So we're gonna go through part 4, and this is
Yeah.
actually the proposal. So this should be the part that I'd like to put the most attention and, you know, your opinions and so forth. We had Carlton come and speak with us the last month, and he seems to think that, you know, there's money available if we come up with a proposal that they can buy in on. So I'd like to see us do that. Before I get into this part 4, the one thing I just want to mention, Karen also sent me an idea, which is kind of similar to some of the other stuff, but it's a separate but great idea we could add to it. If Karen recommended a retreat or quiet space, some autistic children become overstimulated and overwhelmed by the playful chaos of a playground, which that's a good way to put it. I have seen a design where there are small, semi-enclosed areas where a child can get to distress and feel a sense of security away from the bright colors and noise. Must be large enough to accommodate different needs. Maybe a sand or garden or water feature that evokes calm. I think that's a great idea. And actually, if you think about toddlers that have no disabilities, I think a quiet area.
Out.
Yeah,
Call it a
but a
timeout
quiet area
area.
could be good for
Yeah,
everyone. Part 4. The town of Bridgewater has proven to be forward-thinking in regards to ADA compliance on multiple occasions. Examples include an ADA compliant side entrance to the Academy building, making the town hall entrance more accessible to everyone. The newly renovated and popular Styles and Hart Park can accommodate residents with mobility issues. The parking lot is often full. A once abandoned limited park has become a town destination and an accommodating destination. Bridgewater's young families deserve a forward-thinking ADA compliant playground that accommodates and welcomes every child. And I think in the last part, you know, we gave a lot of kudos to how great Marathon Park is, but there is steps that can be taken to take it to the next level. A revamped Marathon Park can include multi-sensory play experiences. Wilson Bounders Playground in Long Meadow features 3 sensory slides that have different textures and are low to the ground. Marathon Park could support kids on the autism spectrum. Sensory play music panels promote rhythm and hand coordination and fine motor skills. Little Tykes features an entire line of commercial-grade sensory playground equipment that includes Concerto, 5 Conga Concerto, 5K, it's $5,000, Spin Rocker, $5,200, and a half circle tire climber for $1,000. Nelson Memorial Park in Plymouth has ensured the safety and accessibility of children by installing a rubberized surface around the play area. Rubberized surface is also called wet pour rubber. A bonded rubber stone are popular. They are durable, low maintenance, long lasting, and comfortable to walk on. The surface protects children in case of falls. Most importantly, the rubberized surface promotes accessibility. Everyone will have the ability to utilize the playground. Poured rubber surface has a great range in price, depending on the size of the area, which in this case is really large, the condition of surface and location. Expected cost could be between $9 and $18 a square foot, but money is involved. ADA compliant playground equipment, while important and necessary, does not come cheaply. A wheelchair swing platform is upwards of $3,200 uninstalled. An ADA compliant merry-go-round could range from $10 to $25K. A universal slide structure geared towards children mobility and sensory issues may be as high as $100K. The Bridgewater Disability Commission has found Marathon Park to be a wonderful playground for children. It is welcoming to children. The park is well maintained with an assortment of attractions, albeit a very limited number of rides for children with any disability. Children with disability may tend to feel isolated due to few rides available to them. The major concern would be the accessibility to rides and attractions through the current wood chip mulch surface, which proves to be difficult to navigate. Playgrounds should be a place for laughter, friends, and fun where all children and their families can play together regardless of their abilities. A good inclusive playground takes away both the physical and social barriers to exclusion. The Bridgewater Disability Commission would like to get the conversation started in how to shape Marathon Park into a safe and inclusive playground for every child. Respectfully submitted, the commission. Yeah. Comments, ideas?
Well, great job, number one, David. I just can't get over how much detail and how comprehensive it is. Part 1, 2, 3, and 4, you know?
Unbelievable.
You know why I ended up
Amazing.
doing that? It was so
Unbelievable.
funny because it took me a while.
Amazing
So
job.
I did part 1 on one day, part 2 on another.
Oh
so
my
I did-
God. I
went into
wouldn't
that.
even be able to think of all that. Great job, really.
Well, I got help. Karen sent me that
Well,
Thank
the
you,
part
Karen.
about
Yeah.
what we were looking for. That was a great idea. She
Yeah.
came up with an idea. I'd like you to look at it.
Yep.
Share your ideas. I'm going to send it, like I said, tomorrow to Josh. He'll send it out
Okay.
to you. Come up with ideas.
Yep.
I would say, Eileen, if you want to get, I mean, Estelle, I apologize.
still,
If you want to get involved, the teacher and you, and make corrections when we get to that point, that would be great. But I would say part 4 is what we want to concentrate in making changes, because that's our proposal. We're
Okay.
talking about what we saw,
Yeah.
the standards and on, what we look for questions, but what do we want to see accomplished? And that is what I think we want to focus on the most.
Okay. Well, let us look it over and see what we can come up with.
Good.
Yeah.
And then
Why,
we
thank
send
you.
it to
David,
Josh. David, send it to
What's that?
Josh.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Did you say to
was-
send the comments to Josh?
I'm going to send the whole thing to Josh. He'll send it back to you. And then I guess the comments go back to Josh
Okay.
to come back to me again.
Yes.
David, I just
so-
have one question. When you were reading it, the wheelchair swing platform is upwards of 3.2 thousand?
Yes. Did I put a K after it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's 3.2 thousand.
okay.
I was just trying to give ideas if we can actually discuss this with a group that, just to get an idea of what some of these things would cost.
Mm-hmm,
I think Carlton mentioned that too.
okay.
David, I definitely have to say, I was so disappointed when Marathon Park was not on that list
I
Mm.
that he
know.
had mentioned. Wouldn't that have been amazing if that was on that list?
It would be, that
How
would
it
have been
benefited us?
a perfect segue for us to, talk more about. I didn't even understand that list now that we're talking about it, because I mentioned the water
treatment.
filtration.
What-
I'm
That
very
doesn't
concerned
serve the
about water.
population.
Right.
I'm
It
very
doesn't serve
concerned
the
about
population
water.
majority, yeah. Sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
what parks did they pick then? It said parks on it, so what
I know,
parks?
but he
you
didn't have
know?
any details.
No,
Like,
Were they
so
all grouped together under the heading of Parks
he
and
didn't really
Recreation?
know, so I'm
you
No.
not
didn't
sure.
know, yeah.
I just thought that some of the things, I mean, all I hear in Bridgewater, when you talk to people anywhere, everyone's concerned about the water and so forth.
Yeah,
But I don't
yeah.
really intend to, if the water was improved, I don't really have a reason to go to the water filtration building and look
Right.
around. So I don't know that there's gonna be a lot of need, of one of 13 buildings, that to be one of the focuses, of ADA concerns.
And isn't the water department that we would go into at Legion Field, isn't that building
That's what
that
I
has the
thought.
ramp? That's where
That's
the
what I
water
thought.
department
That's where
is.
people, yeah.
So that's where we would go.
I
and
went
it's a-
past the sewer treatment building. I mean, it's isolated. It's way
I-
down on
It
off of
is.
High Street. I mean,
Right.
it was
No,
all
I just-
barricaded with fencing and everything. I didn't think anybody would go in there.
I don't know. I just found the
No.
list wasn't really necessarily the buildings I would pick or the parks or whatever in it.
Yeah, I
in
was
Bridgewater
very
to focus
amazed.
on. So that was confusing to me.
Yeah,
If I could just
He's an out of
chime in
town.
a little time.
Please.
I think we have to remember that it's not just for the community, but it's for potential employees as well.
Okay.
And I believe, and I can check in on this for you, but I believe they have to follow state requirements.
Okay.
So that, you know, they
Any
might,
town building.
yeah. So I think that might be part of it is when they are doing creating this plan, they're looking in at the buildings per the state requirements.
oh,
Good.
okay.
Josh, how many people are employed in those buildings? Those two
That that I don't know off the top of my head, unfortunately.
Too few.
But there's quite a few.
Are there?
So when we're saying the water department, are they still in that building across from the Vets Club? Didn't they move to the Memorial Building? I thought they did.
They did move to the memorial building, but it's still a building that we do stuff in. So
Oh,
it
okay.
just because it's named the water department building. I'm not sure what they're doing right now with the space. But again, it's for potential future projects and things like that that we have to be compliant.
Oh, okay, that clarifies. Yeah.
So one thing I was thinking of, folks, there's a new town manager that doesn't really know us and we don't know him as of yet, Justin Casanova Davis. And I was wondering if we should reach out to his office, whether through Josh or through whoever at the office, and set up an appointment to maybe several of us meet with him and introduce ourselves as the Disability Commission. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we give an opportunity to link us in as we go forward when some of the work is getting accomplished in Bridgewater, including ADA concerns, that we're kind of there, you know, at the ground level and, you know, more involved than we have possibly in the past.
Yep.
That's a
I
good
believe
idea.
I
Uh,
believe Courtney Riley, the director at the senior center, did mention that she was going to have a date at the senior center,
Right.
that he would be available. I
Okay.
don't know when that date is, and she was going to let us know, and it would be in the newsletter.
Right.
It would be really nice to, I mean, I met him at the meet and greet, and I really liked him a lot, and I think he's going to
Good.
do a lot for the town. And I
He
also
was
sent
actually
him an
trying
email.
really hard to get here today. He
Oh,
just got
okay.
he got caught in a meeting. So
Yeah,
he'd mentioned to me as he was running through the office that he was asking what time you guys were meeting and everything. So unfortunately, it looks like he got stuck. So
Yeah.
definitely he's been meeting with all the committee, as many of the committees as he can when they pop up. So I would probably expect him at the next one.
Oh, good.
great.
Okay. Well, how about this? Why don't we put him, we'll reach out to him and see if he can be part of our agenda for the next meeting. And
Yeah,
actually,
just shoot me an email.
I'm wondering if we should leave it for the next meeting, not the August, because
August is.
I know that two of you
Yeah.
are not gonna be
Yeah,
here
I'm not gonna be
next
able to
month,
make
and I
it.
would like to have Gloria and Lorraine and, everyone available for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I know, someone has to get out fairly soon.
Mhm.
If you think of ideas for future speakers, we just thought of, Mr. Davis, for the October meeting. Let me know. Today was good. We had a topic that was relevant. The next meeting is going to be August 26th, Zoom, 2:00. And basically, that's what I have for today.
Yeah.
Guys, anything to
Okay.
add?
No, I'm trying to think, was it, Estelle, did you have someone you were gonna be bringing in regarding hearing or something, or?
No, he really wants to meet in person. So
Oh,
it would have to be another non-official meeting. It
Mhm.
would, we would have, because he plans on a 90-minute presentation.
oh, that's right. Yes.
Remember? So
Yep.
he and I
Mhm.
are trying to figure out if we
Something
can
to
have an
see.
open meeting where other people can attend. And
Okay,
then, and we'll, if it's an open meeting, we can do it at the senior center. Otherwise, we'd have to do it at the library.
oh, okay.
So I've been in touch
Yes.
with him. We're playing phone tag right now. So I'll let you know when I know.
Okay, oh, that's great, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Gloria, anything else to add today?
No, I'll miss you next month, though.
I
Yeah,
know. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
yeah, I know, good luck.
That'll be
Yeah.
the second one. The
Oh,
first.
you've already, how did the first
No,
one work out?
the first one is on Friday, Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Do you
Well,
have
good luck
rides?
with that on Friday.
mm,
Do you
you.
have someone to take you and drive you and,
Thank you. I have Norm.
yeah,
oh,
okay.
good.
All right.
Yeah,
My
good.
sister had this last year and she can actually see 20/20 with both eyes now.
Mm.
Fabulous.
That's
luck.
great.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
Good
Well,
meeting.
you'll be in our thoughts, Steph and Gloria.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a good meeting, very good meeting.
great meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Estelle, anything else to add?
Nope, that was it. Oh, they
Okay.
did closed captioning. I mentioned they had a movie at the senior center last week.
I did, was it closed caption?
It was closed captioned.
Really?
Oh,
Oh,
wonderful.
wow.
Yes, that's great.
Oh,
Good.
that was
It
good.
was
great.
quieter.
To
They
do.
had the volume down a little bit and it was closed captioned.
Oh, good, good.
Good. Yep.
Karen, anything else to add?
No, all set. It was a good meeting and I really commend you for the work that you did. That report was just unbelievable. So,
Amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you,
amazing.
but also thank you for sending
Well-
information that I incorporated, and please, everyone, feel free to, add. It helps me out a lot when you send,
Mhm.
updates and all. Let's see, who did I miss?
Oh,
Lorraine.
David,
Yeah,
quick
yes,
question.
sure.
So you will be working on that annual town report too? You'll be working on
Yes,
that,
and
right?
thank you for reminding me. I got it right here.
Yeah.
So, thank you for reminding me. I have it here and I was gonna totally forget. So I have to write up a town report for the Disability Commission for 2024.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Lorraine, and what she did, she gave me a
Mhm.
list of some of the things that we worked on throughout the year, like in January and February. We were kind of involved with ideas in fact, we wrote up a report for Styles and Hart, if you
Mhm.
remember.
Yeah.
Then you mentioned, I'm not gonna read through the whole thing, but
Yeah.
disability representation in modern film and books, hosted by BSU, and you went right down the
Yeah.
list. If there's anything anyone thinks of that, you say, wow, we accomplished this in 2020, in 2024, a year ago, please send them my way and I'll add it in. But I'm gonna do that this coming week.
Oh, good, good,
And I'll
great.
have it,
Thank you.
I'll have it done. Yeah, no problem. And thanks for reminding me.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for doing it.
Anyone else? Well, as always, Josh, thank you for all your help. Always appreciated.
Welcome.
And as I said, next meeting on the 26th. Karen and Estelle, if either one of you has an issue, let me know early on that one, because right now it looks like it's just the three of us, which is a quorum.
Yes.
Okay.
Two is not. Okay. So I motion to adjourn.
I will make your motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
I'll
Gloria.
second it.
Okay, Estelle, thank you. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for your help.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.